Hello, Flosstube friends. I'm Nancy Joy Trower. I'm the stitcher with the laughing face, and this is Flosstube number 41. Thanks so much for stopping by to see what I've been up to for the past 3 weeks. I so appreciate every single one of you who have subscribed and like and comment. I know that there are thousands of Flosstubers out there, and I know how many people I watch and how hard it is to keep up with them. So the fact that you are willing to grab a beverage and sit down with your stitching and hang out with me for a little bit really means so much to me. So glad you're here. I've got some stitchy stuff to share and a little life update and even a little scrapbooking stuff because I've been working on some of that. So thanks for being here. All right, so let's get to a quick life update. My last video was right before 4th of July. And then I filmed my 4th of July, what's the word? Oh my gosh, I'm blanking. Librarian, words are hard. Anyway, Nancy the Disorderly Stitcher and I have the SAL 13 for the 250th SAL. And so we even, update, that's the word. Wow, I should revoke my librarian card. So we had a little update around July 4th showing what both of us have been working on and talking about different projects that are out there. There's so much good stuff. I mean, a lot of people have said, like, I couldn't pick just 13. I was like, yep, me neither. So check out that video. She is so much fun to spend time with, and we might even have an idea for another SAL. We actually had to shoot that one twice because it didn't record, and but she's a hoot to hang with. So did that. And then we had the 4th of July. Phil and I just hung out at home. We didn't really do much because we were getting ready to go on vacation. So, it's like the week before you get ready for vacation, then you go on the vacation, then you come home and you recover from the vacation. So, July 7th, we went to, we packed everybody up and we headed to Kentucky. So Phil's oldest son and his wife met us there. They rode their motorcycle down from Wisconsin. They took 2 days because that's a long ride. So we met in Kentucky. Tuesday we went to Mammoth Caves, and I'm wearing my Mammoth Caves shirt right now. It says, I survived, climbed, hiked, crawled, nearly passed out, and made it through, however, that like 300 miles worth of tunnels. We did not do 300. There's over 400 now, I think. They said 420. We did not do 420 miles in the caves. We were there for like a 2-hour thing, but it was really cool. I can maybe I'll put some pictures in to show some of the cool stuff that we saw. And I picked up a friend in Kentucky. So we went to the, gift shops. First of all, I was like, I'm spending money in the national parks. Lots of money in the national parks because national parks are awesome. I saw this. This is Tucker. Meet Tucker. He is my new friend. And when you see a bat wearing a Mammoth Cave little sweatshirt, it's got a little hood. How can you not? But my library theme for this year is Get Lost in a Good Book. And it's going to be kind of a foresty theme in the library. So Tucker and his friend Tenny, you'll meet her in a second, they're going to hang from the ceiling like they're flying and be like our mascots for the book fair and the library. Maybe I'll I just had an idea. I've done this before where I hid stuffed animals in the book fair and the kids came up to find them every day and they got like a sticker or whatever. So maybe Tucker and Tenny will be the mascots for the book fair. But he's going to hang in the library. I have things already hanging from the ceiling. I can loop around his wings. So he's hanging over stuff. Okay. So this is Tenny. Tenny is a little flying squirrel. And I got her in Great Smoky Mountains, which is where we went. Look, she even looks like she's waving at you. So I'm a dork. What can I say? So there, I got her in the Great Smoky Mountains. So they're representatives of our trip this summer. So Tuesday was Mammoth Caves, got Tucker, and then we drove to Tennessee where we were spending the rest of the week. We got an Airbnb that was amazing. It was this great house. And when you're traveling with extended family, you've got 2 married couples and 2 teenagers, and finding a place that you have enough beds and privacy for everybody is sometimes a challenge. And this was a great house. really like super clean, lots of great little like tips or like little what is it? Oh goodness, I'm then lots of nice little extra things left around for us. Like we drank all the coffee, but that was really nice. So Wednesday we went on a mountain coaster, which was very fun because it was they've got a lot of them there because it's cool to be up in the hills. And then we went to Dolly Parton's Stampede, which was awesome. Phil loved all the horse. It was a lot of horse tricks and horse riding, and that was fun. They brought audience members out. It was great food. One of the things that I love about her, and I forget the number off the top of my head, they mentioned it, and I think she said one of the things that she wants to be remembered for, even more than the music, is her project imagination. She gives out books to kids, and it's like they get one a month when they're born to when they're 5. So 60 books a kid, thousands and thousands of kids. It's like hundreds of thousands of books that she's given away, and that's just awesome. So go Dolly, we love you. So that was fun. And then Thursday we went tubing. So we didn't go, it wasn't whitewater rafting, it's just tubing. So you just float down the river, and there are a couple spots where the water it's a little bit of a rapid, but not anything like dangerous or whatever. We did all get stuck a few times. You get too far over to the edges and the water slows down and you're like stuck and trying to get out. But it was a day pass, so you could go as many times as you wanted to. So we went twice. That was river rat tubing. Very fun. The mountain coaster was Rocky Top Mountain Coaster. The river rat tubing, so we did it twice. We all got fried to a crisp because you put sunscreen on, you forget that like your shorts are gonna ride up when you're sitting for 4 hours in water in the sun. I took 2 phone calls on the river, which was funny. I got one of those pouches, waterproof pouches to put your phone in. So I did get some cool shots of us all going down the river. And the secretary from school called. She's like, your rooms are done. The floors are done in the 2 classrooms. I'm like, great. I'm in Tennessee. I'll let you know. So, we're actually going there later this week to move stuff from one room to the next so that they can do the library floor. Cause that's going to be a big job. Yeah. I'm sure my family's looking forward to it, but I'm making them come with me. So we did the tubing and then had a nice lunchish. Well, no, I made a dinner that night too. I made quesadillas, so it was just like easy food. But we just went back to the hotel. I think Matthew took a ride that day on his bike, like some twisty, turny, cool rides that he's been told about. And then we spent Friday and Saturday in Great Smoky Mountain Park. Absolutely gorgeous, just beautiful. Lots of cool waterfalls, just the mountains are beautiful. We went through this loop that had a lot of old buildings. We did a hike on Saturday that was like 5 miles. My poor little legs were not happy with me at the end of the day, but it was, we saw a beautiful waterfall. There it is. And, here's a view from like the top. That's gorgeous. Like the views are just, I could live in the mountains. No questions. Like I know some people are beach people. I'm a mountain person. Absolutely love them. So, and then Sunday we drove home, and I stitched pretty much the whole way. So then we got back, and of course it takes a little bit of time to get laundry and all that kind of stuff. And then 2 days ago, last Sunday, the 20th, was Vince's graduation party. So kind of a thing here in Buffalo area. Graduations are all the end of June. There's so many of them because there's so many high schools. Most people have their parties in July and kind of try to spread them out. So kids can go to each other's parties and that kind of thing. So we had his party on Sunday. It was a joint party because his cousin, who he is really close with, are almost more like brothers, also graduated from high school. So we had a joint party for the 2 boys, and that was really lovely. So I spent Saturday making a couple dishes. I made the broccoli bacon salad that's so good. I did the pistachio fluff thing. I made a batch of cookies, but I spent most of the week working on Vince's school year's book. And I will tell you more about that at the end. So you can see some scrapbooking stuff at the end. So there's still scrapbooking stuff all throughout my dining room because I made a book for each of the kids. So Sam's book is done. I think there's one page that like the 8x10 is missing. Brooke and Vince's are done. That we have frames on the wall that every year we'd have the school picture and I'd switch them out. And then, so I have all the 8x10s from all their school pictures. Some years we did professional pictures, like family ones. There are some years that the 8x10 is the two of the kids standing on the front porch holding the sign from what year that they are going into. For some reason, there's a couple of years in high school we didn't get their school photos because we didn't get the info in time. But enough said about that. Blended families. But we had, so I did there's an 8x10 of each for each year. So you can kind of flip through really quickly and see the kids grow up. I only did the 8x10s for Brooke and Vince so far. I don't have all the snapshots printed for them. Sam's has the 8x10 and then snapshots from that page. Concerts, sports, whatever, first day of school, that kind of thing. Max, I've got everything printed for him, and I have to remember to stop at Walgreens and get one more set because I continued his into college. So I'm going to put in a couple of pages from like when we've gone to go visit. We went sightseeing in Philly with him, and his awesome apartment and the cat, and then graduation, of course, from Temple. Because Max didn't walk for graduation from high school. He was class of 2021, and that was his senior year was 2 days in school, 2 days out. One day everybody was off in the middle. Like Wednesday was like a reset day or whatever. And then he was like, yeah, no, I'm not doing this for a whole year. And so he just doubled up on English and social studies. And I think he had to double up on gym. And then he was done in January instead of June because he was fed up with school. He did not want to spend an entire year doing that. And we were like, we don't blame you. So he didn't walk because by the time June rolled around, he was like, eh. And it was an outside thing. It was so college graduation is the only graduation that he's actually walked. So I have his book that I want to work on because we're going to go see him in August. He and Abby just moved to New Jersey. Their apartment's super cute. And they invited us down. So how cool is that to get invited to come visit by your grown-up kids? That's pretty cool. So that's where we are. And hopefully you stuck with me. I know people watch for like an average of 15 minutes and I just talked for 12. So let's get to the stitchy stuff. Maybe I've done it before. We like skip to the stitchy stuff at 12:29 or whatever it is. All right. So I did get some stitching done. Sorry, I'm going to move Tucker and Tenny off of my spot here. So stitching. So knowing that we were going to be in the car for a lot of time, I didn't really stick to old and new by the weeks. I was kind of like, what can I work on in the car and what can I work on out of the car? Because I can stitch on Ada in the car. And so I was kind of putting side stuff. So I didn't really do it in like the week it's assigned to with my something old Sal, where every week is a different part of the rhyme. So there's something old, something new, something festive, something boo. So for the something old, and being that it's also Christmas in July, Jolly July, I wanted to do that. I wanted to work on patriotic. Tara Sully Stitches was doing spooky summer. So I'm like, yeah, Halloween stuff, which is this week. So I wanted to do all the things. So for trying to do some Christmas in July for something old, I worked on out of the car because this is on 14 count. There's no way I could see this in the car. I did Over the Hills and Everywhere. So this is part of Annie the Proper Stitcher did this beautiful set. Sorry, I gotta grab my sheet of paper so you don't see through it in my head. So it's Go Tell It on the Mountain, Over the Hills, and Everywhere that Jesus Christ is Born. So she has the 3-part series, and I'm stitching all of them to go in these beautiful green velvet frames that I have. So in order to fit them in the frame, they're 5x7s, I'm doing them on 40 count. So the first one was like, oh my gosh, bright light, please. It was a little rough, but I think I got the hang of it more with the second one. So I did finish Over the Hills and Everywhere. So pretty. So this is 40 count Milk and Honey. I think I'm getting used to it. So I'm sure I have a lot of it left from the big piece. So I'm sure I will use it for something. I was actually really wanting to be doing Plum Street's Rejoice that just came out at Marketplace. I'm like, maybe that. on the 40 count. The only thing I did change is that because the frames are this beautiful green velvet that's more of like an emeraldy green, she called for pine needles. I switched it to mistletoe because the pine needles would not have gone with the green frame. So that was my first finish for the month, and I'm super excited. I've got this giant stack sitting behind me of finishes that need to get FFO'd, and I'll tell you more about that plan in a little bit. Then, also for Jolly July, and also for something new, this Santa is one of my oldest whips. This is the Ultimate Cross Stitch magazine. I used to get them at Joann's. I don't know where I'm going to get them anymore because they're awesome. There's so much stuff in here I would love to do. There's even a whole set of Christmas Carol that's really cute, and I teach that every year. So one of these days I'm going to do it. So I have like a cool little, I don't know, Christmas Carol tree in my classroom. But this is from 2017, and I either started it in 2017 or 2018. And I remember showing it to students at school because I had cross stitch clubs, and they'd be like, "Did you finish that Santa yet?" Those kids, I think, just graduated from high school. Yeah. And they were in my 6th grade class, or my club. So I worked on this in the car. And, oh, so here's one of the things. So I did take a picture. This is the Santa's face without the back stitching. Now I know a lot of people cannot stand back stitching. And, you know, I stitched all through the 80s, all through the 90s where it was really backstitch heavy. But this is why. And I know it puts a lot more work into it and stuff, but sometimes the amount of detail that you can get when you backstitch it is just spectacular. So here's Santa's face without the backstitching. And here is Santa's face with the backstitching. I mean, isn't that just amazing what it does to it? So I had most of this done. The only thing I had to do, I had to finish Santa's face in the car, a little bit of backstitching up here, and I had to finish the borders. But that's really all I was doing in the car. And then, if you can see, last night I put in the beads. And I'm so glad I decided to do the hollyberry beads, or making them look like it, because I think it's so cool. It turned out really nice. And I was like, yeah, not beading in the car, because first of all, you stick yourself with that beading needle and you notice. I'm like, ow, 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 ow. My husband's like, what are you doing? I was like, I stuck myself. But I'm so happy that this is done. And now I will be on the lookout for a perfect red sparkly frame. Or I found paint that has glitter in it. And I was like, if I have to, I will paint a red sparkly frame, because I think that it needs it. It needs sparkly. And I love the gold, and the beads just really, really did a great job. So that took, of course, it took longer than I thought it would. It took the whole ride down to Kentucky and half of the ride back from Tennessee to get as much done as I could in the car. So then I picked up my other old piece, which goes along with, well, maybe not really so much the 13 for the 250th, because this I started last year. I worked on it actually. Oh, it kind of goes with National Park stitching, because I started it when we went to Yellowstone last year. And then the end of July rolled around and I wasn't done. And I was just like, I'm just going to put it away. But I picked it up and worked on it in the car. And I think I may have finished it in the car, or it was pretty darn close by the time we got home. So here is my month-to-month July. Now the truck is a different color because I ran out of blue corn. So when I was at my L&S, the Stitching Corner, she pulled Midnight Sky, or no, it's just Midnight, which is a Gentle Art sampler thread. So I was like, it's okay that the truck is a little bit different from the barn. And I did use that blue and the blue flowers that went around too, because it just had a little bit more variegation to it. And I actually toyed with using blue inside the flowers, but then I decided against it and left them black. So that is the big piece. And that is going to get FFO'd this week, so I can enjoy it at least for the last week of July. And then when we got home, I was like, am I going to do the little round button thingy? I want to do the little round button thingy because you know, sometimes I might decide to switch out my, you know, put away the 4th of July decor and just have summery stuff up. And the fact, this one says watermelon, you can leave that. And I have some little watermelon decorations that were actually my mom's. So it would be fun to have it out with just the watermelon stuff. So I went ahead and did that. I think I did this on last Tuesday. So last Monday we had some errands to do. Last Tuesday was hot. It was really, really hot. And my husband had done so much driving, and that's exhausting. So we spent the entire day in bed, basically, in our bedroom, because that's where the AC is. And we watched the entire series, The Waterfront, on Netflix. Very good. High body count. A lot of dead people in that show, but very good. We enjoyed it. And so I'm pretty sure I used that whole time to stitch the watermelon. This is all done on cracked pine, and I tried to do it so I have one piece. There's bunnies over here from Easter, but I still have like a little bit left there at the top. If I'm careful when I cut it, I might be able to get another sideways stripper out of it, because I love this pine board. Oops, sorry, I just moved you. I think it goes so well with, it's barn wood, so it looks awesome with the barns, and it just has that cool, it adds a little bit to, I think, to everything that you stitch with it. So I was happy to have those finished, and I am going to FF with those this week as well. Alrighty, so those are my olds. So 3 olds, and they're all done, which is great because part of the reason I started this, the little something sale, is because I had 29 whips. And I wanted to cut that number down. So sure, I started some other things this week, but I also finished one of my oldest whips like ever. I mean, it's like 8 years. And then I finished another whip from last year. So that makes me happy that, you know, as I'm starting new stuff, I'm not adding to that mint list and making it too much. Cause I think, you know, 35, 40, and some people can do that. I can't do that. That's too much for me. So it's good. I'm glad to have those done. All right, then on to new. New is for my 13 for the 250th Sal. So this is our board. Nancy made this up, and it's you can find it below in the show notes. You can find it on hers. It might even be like when we do our joint video. It might be in the description there. I think it is. So this was part of the idea when we were thinking about doing the 13 for the 250th Sal, was that because there's 13 stripes. So you can write what you're doing on each stripe. Now, Nancy's been very good because she's only writing down what she's finished because she doesn't like the G word, goals. So we're talking about our intentions. So I wrote down at the beginning of this, I wrote down everything I wanted to do that like I already owned. So I have my whips done from the first month. I'm going to FFO this week too. And then the next one is Red, White, and Blue Sampler from Erin Elizabeth. I loved this stitching when I first saw it come out. It's just gorgeous. It's not a ton of colors. It's only a handful of colors too. So I started this on, had a little piece of flax left. And I was like, oh yeah, I've got enough. Oh, wrong one. And I thought I measured close enough. So I started, and then I got this much done. And I was like, yeah, that's not going to fit. I started in too far. I was like, oh yeah, like an inch in. No, it would have been like a half an inch in. So thankfully, this was only one night worth of work. The alphabet went very quickly. So I was like, oh no. So I will frog that at some point in time and put something else on the flax because I love this fabric. I am not a fabric waster. I will use all of them, rip it out, redo it. So I started over on this piece of 32 count parchment that I had. What did I start on this last year? I think I started House of Love and Learning last year from Emily Call, which I think I'm going to work on in August. And that would be good September too, because it's learning. Anyway, so this is 32 count parchment, and this is what I was able to get done. So I have almost the whole alphabet done. This is one page. So I have one page done. I have another page partially done. left the house for fill-in, so I'm hoping to hop into a Zoom on Wednesday night, and then I can just fill in. And, you know, the roof too, because the house, that's a big house. It's a lot of white there. Now, the only thing I switched out was she called for 3866 for the color that goes in between and kind of does like the whitewash boards. It really didn't have the contrast that it showed in the picture. So first I tried 437 because that was in the family of the brown, but it was too close. So then I went to 422 because that seemed to me more like what was in the picture. If you can see where they made like the bead board or whatever that's supposed to be. I just thought that stood out a little bit more. Absolutely delightful to stitch on. Really love working on this piece. Oops, so I don't stick myself with the needle. And then I also will have enough parchment. I think I might actually use, I'm at the point now, I think I can cut this, what's not going to get used there because there's not much more below the house. And then I think I'm going to use it for this month's 13 for the tube. It's the wrong tube. 13 for the 250th. When I get to plans. All right. And I roll up. This is how I store all my fabric. I get all these tubes. You know them. I'm sure you've seen them a million times. Michael's, Joann's, RIP. But I get the tubes. And then even though the parchment piece came to me rolled, like folded, but then I roll them. Because check this out. You know, I've had this in the tube. How much do you see of the creases from being folded? There's a little bit down here that's still left that you can see creases. But by rolling it up, it helps to get those creases out. So then when you are done and you're trying to iron it and get it as pristine as possible, you're not fighting those creases. So I do need to find a better container. Right now I have them in like a little, it was a laundry basket, a little round laundry basket I picked up at the dollar store because it was red and that goes with all my colors in here. I think I need to find something different. Maybe like even like a square garbage can that's cute or something. Because they don't fit in there very well. But I have like a whole, sitting behind you, my laundry basket, and they're all in there in tubes. I can leave the tags on if it came from, you know, a specialty shop like my L&S. If it is something that I purchased like linen or whatever, you can just leave the label in there. And then I have everything rolled, and I find that it keeps the creases out better. And it keeps it clean in the container when it's sitting in the different bags or sitting waiting to be chosen for a kit. So, so that's why I'm always rolling stuff up and putting it away. All right. So the other new thing I started, and I'm still going to be working on the red, white, and blue sampler, I think, throughout the summer. I picked it to start in the summer because it was one of the bigger pieces I wanted to do. And of course, being on summer vacation, I have a little bit more time. So even if it's one of those things where I sit down and like use it for fill-in purposes specifically for the house and stuff, the rest of it, the really cute icons and stuff around it, you know, work on those maybe in front of the TV, but save the house and the roof for fill-in, and that'll work pretty well. All right, so I also started Welcome Home Summer. Oops. From Stitching with the Housewives. And I'm going to say now, huge shout out. If you watch Priscilla and Chelsea, you're part of the Stitching with the Housewives Facebook group, you already know Priscilla announced that she's dealing with cancer. And 2 videos ago they announced it. You could tell that she was terrified. You also probably noticed in the past couple of weeks how much weight she lost, and it didn't really look like a healthy weight. So you were kind of, everybody probably had in the back of her mind, like, what's up? Is she okay? This past weekend, they posted another video. She'd gone to her first treatment. And I think, I've never dealt with it. I've had friends who've dealt with it. I think that not knowing what the treatments is going to be like is probably one of the most terrifying parts of it. She seemed to be in much better spirits this past week. So I'm so glad for that. And I'm sure you've already all seen too the amount of support from the stitchy community, because let's face it, she is one of the reasons why cross stitching is the way it is now. If you go back to her blog, even before they started doing Facebooks or Flosstubes, she was one of the ones who was taking the smalls and using other pieces of decor to mount them on. And I loved her stuff even before they did Flosstube or before she started designing, because she's so talented. And I think we, as a stitching community, owe a lot to her for the way that we finish and the magnet washer thing that everybody does. You know, that's them. And just hope that she's feeling all the love from everybody. So yeah, so love out to Priscilla and Chelsea and their whole family. So I started Welcome Home Summer, and I'm doing all the called fors, except I am using 3865 for the white because there's so much of it. And I don't really think it makes that much of a difference sometimes. And I switched out the Tropical Paradise for Really Tealy because I love that bright blue. This is all I got done on it in the car, because I actually was getting we've been in the car so much I was getting car sick. So I didn't do a ton. But this was like one day's ride worth. It's on Ada, so I can work on it in the car. Hopefully I won't be getting car sick all the time. The only other change I think I'm going to do is, if you look at the way Welcome has, they have it with gray for like the shadow color. I'm going to use the blue. Because I just love that Really Tealy and makes it everything else pop. So that was a very small start. Hopefully I'll be good on the way to New York when we go to see Max, and the way back. They'll definitely have that with me for that trip. Alrighty. So that's all I've worked on in the past couple of weeks. Besides the album, you know, we were on vacation. So I did get some stitching done, like in the car. I did a little bit on the red, white, and blue sampler when we were there. But that's when I got done. So that moves us on to plans. So this is the 4th week of July, which means it's something boo. And I do, like, there's the spooky summer going on, and there's so much great Halloween stuff. Was it Emily? I think it was Emily Call just popped out a new, no, it was Cherry Hill Stitchery just has a cute new witch. There's always so much cute stuff. So I do want to do some Halloween stuff this week because I like the fact that I'm getting work done on those projects, but I also really want to work on the red, white, and blue. And I have something else I want to work on. That's, a big piece for the 250th I'm splitting up. So what I decided to do, I was like, oh yeah, I've got this really awesome sampler that I started, the Luminous Fiber Arts Halloween Enchanted Quaker, which is just spectacular. There's a lot of Halloween Quakers out there, and they're all really cool. I chose this one because I loved how it looked like Halloween was the smoke coming out of the house, and because it has the Nevermore with the raven on it. Oh my gosh, I saw Edgar Allan Poe salt and pepper shakers in a country, what is it? Cracker Barrel. They have that little store in the front. I was like, I want those because I teach the raven. I really wanted them. I knew I wasn't going to buy them, but they were so cute. So, so this is cool because this one I can just pick up every day of Boo and do a strand of floss. Like take a length of floss, do that, and then put it aside. And then just do a little bit every day. So here's what I have so far. This is Stormy Night. And I think it's 32. Not sure if it's 32 or 28. I think that's 32. And I am using Color and Cotton Witch's Brew, which is, it looked black when I ordered it from them 2 years ago, maybe. And it looked black in the website, but it's not. It is this absolutely spectacular purpley black. So I think I still need to get like 2 more skeins. But the cool thing with this is because it's a Quaker and because it's all the motifs, if the skeins aren't 100% exactly the same, it's okay. I'll just make sure that one, like, you know, a motif would all come from the same skein. So if the skein is slightly different and I do it up here, or I do a different one over here, whatever, it's okay because each motif is a kind of its own thing. So I'm going to do, take the length of floss each day and do that one during this week, and then work on the other stuff as well. So I just think that piece is awesome. And how cool will that be with like some really cool ornate black frame. I have to keep my eyes out for that. I also will work on, and I know I said this last time and I don't think I did, but I do have the Halloween seed packets, and they're so stinking cute. So I am doing these on Desert Sand Opalescence. So it has a green opalescence to it, which is so awesome for Halloween. I do have another big piece. I'm sure I will find some other awesome Halloween piece to do on it. And then, oh, I must be pulling kind of tight on that. I think it's 32 count. Oh, I gotta loosen my stitches up maybe a little bit. So I do want to get one more of these done. I have 2 done already. There are 5 in the set, and I would love to have them all done for Halloween this year so I can do some cute little, just, I don't know, you know, like I have like a tin bucket with all sorts of picks stuck in it, and put these in there like they're like on picks. I think that would be really cute. So that is plans for Boo. But also this week I am absolutely 100% starting Crocette Go-Go. And last time, I apologize, I said it was Curie Batakori. Sorry, it's foreign languages, I'm confused. But it's Crocette Go-Go. And this came out in June, I think it was. And it's just spectacular. Just a beautiful piece. Now, PSA, if you didn't see it on Instagram already, someone is pirating her patterns. And her name is Dorigo Michaelia, or maybe it's Michaelia Dorigo. I'm not sure. Sometimes they flip in different countries. Your surname comes first. But I think it's Michaela. She posted on Instagram that there are people out there who have pirated her whole Etsy shop and are selling her patterns, or at least setting up a shop pretending that they're selling her patterns, and then not actually sending a file to the people. So people have reached out to her and said, hey, I bought this pattern from this shop and I haven't gotten anything. And she's like, that's not my shop. So please make sure that when you are buying from a designer, or you're buying from an Etsy store that is a reputable Etsy store, and please make sure that you are getting the patterns from the right people, right? We don't want somebody trying to steal money from the designers who, I mean, think about how long it took her to design that and then have somebody model stitch it, and to have somebody steal your intellectual property is just awful. So do be on the lookout for that. Make sure, and it's one of the reasons why I won't use Temu. So be on the lookout for people who are trying to pirate other designers' work. But I am definitely starting this month. Now, it's a big piece, so I'm going to break this up into 12 months. There are 6 pages, and I figured I can do half a page each month. So when I printed it out, I was like, oh my gosh, that's a lot. So I'm just going to start in the corner and do like the eagle pretty much, and the border over here. And one of the things I thought about, like, because in a Zoom Instagram group, with borders not matching, it was like, oh, that would really suck. It went all the way around and then it didn't match. So I think what I'm going to do is go down and then over. So that way I'm not really worrying about them matching up, because I'm not going around and counting. I'm going to go across. I think that'll work. So hopefully I won't wind up with any major problem about something being off a stitch that I have to do any frogging. But that is just gorgeous. So I'm going to start up in the corner, and I'm doing it on, what's the name? It's Mad Hatter's Tea Towel. So here's the beautiful fabric. Got this at my LNS. And then all of the bouquet of floss is there. It's going to be lovely. So I'm going to start on that today. Because I'm actually, oh, I forgot to tell you, I'm home alone. They went disc golfing without me. So shocking. It's like, I don't think I've been alone for a while. Love my family, but sometimes it's nice to be alone for 10 minutes. I do have to go grocery shopping because we have no food. So I will be doing that after I finish. But they're going to be disc golfing for a while. So I can get some stuff done around the house by myself. Like putting YouTube on the TV instead of just my iPad. Because I'm so far behind in Flosstubes. I've been lapped. Like I have people like people who put out 2 since the last time I watched them. I'm like, oh, that's not good. I need to get caught up. So many good people to watch out there. All right. So that is going to be what I work on this week. And July being, we got a couple extra days. I figure I can use those to finish up anything that I want to with the American Sampler, work more in the red, white, and blue, get that seed packet really 100% done. And then it's going to be August next week, which is crazy. Sometimes summer seems like it just whoosh, and maybe it hasn't yet because we were on vacation. We had the party. So we had a lot going on. We are going to go to see Max in August, but I feel like it's not rushing by me too much, knock on wood. So I feel like I still want to have a lot of time to get stuff done, but unfortunately, I think my list of things to get done is really long. And usually July is kind of like the just hang out, lay around, sit and read and whatever. August is when I need to buckle down and be like, okay, I need to go through the front porch and thoroughly clean everything and donate and put stuff on Facebook Marketplace and all that kind of stuff. So, so that is something that I'll be doing in August. So, old for August. Let me just pause for 1 second and kind of shift things over because everything now is like way far behind me when I laid it out in my piles. So I'll be right back. Okay, so for something old for August, I started this last year with my classroom in mind because I do have a coffee themed classroom. And this year it's going to still be coffee themed, like cafe. I'm going to brick the wall again, but it's going to be like coffee and books. And this was from finally Farmgirl. Home is coffee. So there's Oscar with his little mouse friend. And at home is coffee in one hand and a book in the other. And I started this last year. I think I made a mistake and then kind of got myself derailed a little bit. But I'm definitely going to finish this. So I'm just using oranges that I found in my stash that, oops, I dropped some, hold on. Sorry, dropped some gray stuff. I forget where, I'll have to figure out where the mistake is, but I was also kind of changing the colors up just a little bit. She had kind of a limey green, and my classroom has more of the dark green because I kind of went with like, Starbucksy kind of stuff. So I want to work on that one. I want to get that one finished up so I can put it in my new room with my coffee and books theme. And then I also have a couple other things. Oh, those are new, so hold on. So I want to work on that. I have a bunch of ornaments started. I have some patriotic roundabouts. I have some other roundabouts. So I want to work on those too. And there's a million of them, so I'm not going to show you all of them. So that's what I'm going to work on for old. Probably also red, white, and blue sampler. And maybe even Love and Learning. I love that piece and wanted to get back to that. That was part of the reason why I started the Little Something Sal, was because I wanted to work on things that weren't seasonal and carve out time. You can't just start something and work on it for a week and then put it aside. Like, I know you can, but not if you want to finish it. So I wanted to use that for old. Now for new, I have these. I bought, I forget I'll have to check on the name, but books are always a good idea. I want to do that one for my classroom. I also want to do the caffeine where it's the molecule, but they look like flowers. That was super cute. Nope, Go away. This one's a little bit funnier. Touch my coffee and I'll slap you so hard even Google won't be able to find you. My 8th graders will think that's funny. So there was a couple things like that I wanted to do for getting ready for the fact that it'll be in my classroom. I also want to do the welcome to our hive, which is the bonus. So I don't have a picture to show you, but it's the bonus chart that goes with hive rules, because I saw someone do hive rules all in one piece with the welcome to our hive at the top. And I would like to do that as well. So, and then for my 13 for the 250th SAL, I want to do Camping Stitchers Red, White, and True. So I want to do that for August. I think that'll be super cute. And I might even use the remnant of parchment that I have, because the white really shows up nicely on the parchment. It pops nicely. So work on those. And then for festive, but I'm sure I'll be back before then. I better be. I've got plans to come back and see you before then. But I am going to start the 3rd one in the series, and I'll still be working on whatever patriotic stuff that I have done. So that's down the road. All right. Haul. I do have a little bit of haul. Okay, so, this actually is Stitchy Gladness, happy stitching stuff. I won this from a giveaway from Willow Hill Samplings. She did a giveaway on Instagram, and it's Land of the Free with a really pretty little piece. So thank you so much to Kimberly for that. It's always fun when your name is the one that's called. Everybody loves that. So that was Stitchy Goodness. And then haul. I was watching Teresa Kogut, and she talked about this piece, and I'm sure many of you have seen this one already. But she was talking, this is a piece where the entire purchase price is going into a fund for a family friend of hers where the little guy has leukemia. And she said in her last video that they've raised almost $20,000. And I was like, that's amazing. You know, when you are somebody like Teresa who has such a huge following, and she is so incredibly talented, to be able to use her influence to help somebody else is awesome. So I'm like, yeah, I'm going to buy one too. Super, super cute. And also just a great cause. So the hashtag is Lincoln Strong fundraisers for a little guy named Lincoln. Not really much else cross stitching, but I did go to Michael's because I was getting stuff like I needed the right kind of, I use a lot of foam corners to like make things pop on a scrapbook page, and they had some stuff that I couldn't leave there. Like I need more paper, but this is the Book Club paper pack. And I mean, oh, hold on. I mean, just look at that. I have no idea what I'm going to use them for, but I'm sure that my reading friends, look, there's like bookmarks in here. This was a special. I think I was only like $5. It was on an end cap in my Michael's. I mean, look how cute. I'll have to think of something awesome to make. I was even thinking about getting paper mache letters and covering them like that to spell read. Maybe in my classroom. I don't know. We'll see. But I could not leave those there. They were just too cute. Don't want the stickies on them. And there was a cute little pack of stickers that came too. Now this was a really cool find. I was happy about this one because I did Creative Memories for 8 years, I think it was. And I love their stuff. But I'm not a consultant right now, and buying a ton of album sets is not what I'm looking for. However, I'm like sitting here looking at all my scrapbooking and stuff. It's right here. It's a giant shelf. There's so much. I have this huge, I have a stack of packs of paper that's like a foot high. Yeah, I'm going to go through those and I'm going to pull out the stuff I really think I'm going to use, and then I'm going to try to sell packs of like 5 pounds of paper for $25 on Facebook Marketplace or something like that. So maybe somebody else can find some use for it. Part of the problem is I can't keep up with and I think, you know, just doing like big albums for trips. But I found this when I was at Michael's. It's from Recollections, which is one of their brands. But it's the kind that's like a pick folio where you can just slide in the pictures. So you can still have them that you can see a whole bunch. You can still decorate, but it would go much faster. And I was so excited to find it. They were having a sale. So it was buy one, get one 50% off on the scrapbooks. I don't know if that's still going on, but it was. And I was so excited to find that. I also found these lights because, of course, they have Halloween and Fallout in all the stores already. And I'm like, ugh, I can't, but I also can't help myself. Look at his little coffee cups. So that I bought for my classroom because why not? It's too cute. And then I brought this little friend home with me. She needs a name. They had them in white and pink. It was in the Halloween pick section. How stinking cute. She needs a name. So that is what you're going to help me with to win a giveaway today. Get a prize. So come up with a name for the ghost and have the word ghost in your comment so I can find that it's what you want to do. And then tell me what you think I should name her. Because she might stay around in the crafty room all the time. Because she's just too stinking cute. It's just like that cool yarn that nobody makes anything with. I used to be able to buy yarn that looked like this to make scarves. And they don't do it like that anymore. But she is too stinking cute. Couldn't leave her there. So yeah. So that's my question. If you would like to win. Hold on. Said I was not going to turn around, but there I'm going. If you would like to win this cute little, it's a date, October 31st. This is from the Mindful Needle. And this was a gift from my LNS in my 12 Days of Christmas bag that I got in December. Super cute little pattern that would whip up really quickly, even for spooky summer. So if you would like to win this, tell me what I should name my little ghosty girl. She's so cute. All right. So 2 giveaways then. That's a good segue into that. So this I gave, I offered this one 2 videos ago. Because I was asking if I should start over a Halloween piece or stick with it. And the winner of that was, Laddie Legionnaire, Ladilegionnaire. And I haven't heard from that person. So I'm going to give it one more try and then I'm going to put it back in the pile. So if you are Laddie Legionnaire, send me an email with your address so I can pop this in the mail to you. Stitcher from the Black Lagoon, I have not forgotten about you, but we were out on vacation. So I will get your garden stitching in the mail shortly. Last video, I had a couple giveaways too. Hoopy Hobby reached out to Nancy, the Disorderly Stitcher, and I, and offered the Victory Garden, her pattern, as a giveaway. So I have 2 versions, and what you're going to do is you're going to email me. I'll give your email to Hoopy Hobby, and she'll send you the pattern. So I have a paper pattern, goes to 823 Nori. And the PDF pattern goes to the Okie Stitcher. So congratulations, ladies. Send me an email. Say in it Flosstube winner as your title would be great. So, because I get so much junk from everywhere. So put that in as your reline or whatever, you know what I mean. So put that in there. Flosstube winner, tell me your the email address that you would like me to pass on. I'll give that information to Hoopy Hobby and she'll send you either the PDF pattern or the paper pattern. Then I also had Bunnies Bakery. This is a Lori Holt, and this was a gift from a viewer from Kay. So thank you, Kay. And so this goes to Sandra Adams 2677. So Sandra, you need to send me an email with your physical address so I can pop this in the mail to you. Laddie Legionnaire, if you could do that as well. And then if you want to try to win, the new giveaway for today is the, it's a date, October 13, or October 13. I'm looking at it. It's backwards in the thing. October 31, if you tell me what to name my ghosty girl. Okay. So that's it for giveaways. So, I was going to show you some scrapbooking stuff, but you know what? I didn't talk to either of the boys and ask them if it was okay if I share. So maybe I'll do another video with scrapbooking stuff because, like I said, I'm also going to go through my scrapbooking so you can see, you know, maybe how I store it and then how, hopefully how that gets downsized a little bit. So my last thing then to talk about is books. I am a librarian. Reading is like breathing. And, I challenged my students to read 15 books over the summer, so I'm hoping that I will get to do that as well. Didn't read a ton the last video. I think I was watching a whole lot of things. Oh, and speaking of watching, so we watched The Waterfront. I mentioned that one in its entirety in one day. It was really good. It was good, but it was also hot. We didn't want to do anything. We watched all of Untamed, which is set in Yosemite National Park. First of all, it made me want to go there because, oh my gosh, is it gorgeous. It also was a little scary because the plot line, like somebody was using an abandoned mine as a meth lab. But I was like, ugh, it's a really big park. How would you know? But really good. That was very enjoyable. And then what else did we watch? We watched a couple things like completely all the way through. We've been watching the show Pulse, which is a hospital drama. A little too much jumping around between time frames in it, but it's okay. We watched a little bit of The Sandman. But The Untamed, The Waterfront was one. Oh. The Perfect Couple. I would love to learn the dance at the beginning. That dance is awesome. It would be like a fun, I think like I should make the teachers in my school learn that. It would be funny. So we did watch a lot of stuff. And I've been trying to catch up on cross-stitching. Oh, on Flosstube. Hallmark movies. I love Hallmark movies. Christmas in July is going on right now. I watched one that came out last year and I actually favorited it. I usually don't do that on movies, but this one blew me away. It's called Christmas Quest. And I think it's actually showing again July 30th because I said something to my sister-in-law, like, you got to catch this one. And she's like, I'll have to see it when it's on again. And I have the app, so it'll tell you when a movie's coming up again. Sorry, curly hair in my face. So it's, oh shoot. Cute little girl with the dark hair. She's in like all of them. Lacey Chabert. If you ever play like there's a like Hallmark Christmas bingo that's like, check off a box if it's Lacey Chabert or Danica or Allison, whatever, who's in the baking shows. Anyway, it was Lacey Chabert, and I forget who the guy was, but he's been in a million things too. And it was focusing on finding the lost treasure of the lads, the Yule lads in Norway's Christmas mythology. And there was so much information about Norway's mythology. It was fascinating. First of all, they must have gone there and shot it there too because it was beautiful. And of course, Christmas, typical holiday Hallmark Christmas happiness in it. But I just loved the amount of information about the lads that was in there. It was so cool. Really enjoyed that one, so go check it out. It's going to be on again on the 30th. All right, so reading. So I read Sprinkles and Sea Serpents, which is the first in the series. It's about a girl who, she's a witch. Her whole family is witches. She lives in a town that's like shielded from regular humans. They're all witches and stuff. She has to go home because she lost her job. It's like typical, kind of typical. But she can talk to animals. And so when a sea serpent is blamed for recent deaths, she looks into it a little bit further. So it's the first in a series. I may read the other ones at some point because there's a whole bunch of them. The next one I think is a Christmassy one. It's like something in gingerbread because her family owns a bakery. And so it was enjoyable. And then I decided I was going to pick up, because I got it for Christmas and I hadn't read it yet, I was going to pick up A Court of Thorn and Roses. I loved it. I understand now what all the hype was. It was so good. First of all, it's based on one of my absolute favorite fairy tales, East of the Sun, West of the Moon, which also happens to be Norway. It's part of the Beauty and the Beast family of fairy tales. There's a whole bunch of them out there where the fairy young damsel winds up falling in love with the beast-like creature and has to break the curse to save him from it. That's what you know in Beauty and the Beast. However, in the Norway one and in this one, often when you break the curse, or they didn't break the curse in time, and the male character is like whisked away by some evil person, and then the female main character has to go find him and break the curse again. And that's what this one does. Really enjoyed it. Now, I will tell you this. Do not, if you're going to read these, do not go onto Amazon and read what the next book is and read the synopsis, because it's going to blow things. I was like, what? What happened? So, and I have a bunch of friends from work. We have a group chat, and it's like, I was like, what in the world is going on? And they were like, yeah, we know, because they've all read it already. So the next one is A Court of Mist and Fury. Now, I'm going to ask for these for my birthday because I want to have the trophy copies sitting on my shelf because I love them. Farah, I think, I can't even say her name right, but the main character is now one of my favorite main characters, literary alter egos. I love her. I identify with her so much. And I think sometimes when you read a book and that you can see yourself as the character, not that I'm like, 19-year-old and a huntress anymore or anything like that, but I identify with her so much. I think you can see the story more clearly when you're like so wrapped up into it. So this is the second one, and I was like, I can't wait. I'm going to buy it on Kindle and just read it and then get the trophy copy. So Court of Mist and Fury is number 2, and right now I'm about less than 200 pages from the end of A Court of Wings and Ruin. That's a 700 pager, you guys. So I love them. I do want to read the other 2 in the series, but I am going to take a break after this one because I think I've only read like 6 books so far this summer, and I've got to beat my students. I have to read 15 books at least. And there's so many books in my TBR. Plus I want to get the hard copy. So I'm like, I'm going to get them for my birthday. It's not too far off. I want to read other things too. So that's what I've been reading. Super good. Don't read the synopsises in Amazon if you haven't already, because it gives away too much. But so good. Really enjoyable. And yes, they're supposed to be pretty steamy. Honestly, I think I've read stuff that's steamier. Quicksilver's definitely more. And the second one comes out in September, and my book besties at school, we're going to go to the store together and have a book club because it's like, can't wait to get my hands on it. But right now there's a war going on, and it's like, what's going to happen? Can't wait. So it's very good. I'm enjoying that immensely. All right. I think that is plenty for this time. I am planning on this week doing a FFO a day. And I was like, oh, if an apple a day keeps the doctor away, then what does an FFO a day keep away? I don't know. I'll have to think of something. Give me a suggestion. What does an FFO a day keep away? So I have a giant stack sitting right over here behind me. Woo! All of that right there. I can't figure out how to do that. Sorry. But there's a giant stack sitting behind me. That's all stuff that needs to be FFO'd. I think there's even more in another basket. So I'm going to try to do a little every day. And I think what I'll do is like film a little every day and then have a video, kind of compilation of all the stuff I get FFO'd. Definitely want to get the patriotic stuff done and out for the rest of July. And there's a lot of seasonal stuff in there too that, sometimes you think about how you want to do something. It kind of percolates in your brain, how it's going to come out. And so, that'll be fun over the next week. So hope you are well. Hope you are, Hope you are keeping cool wherever you are. And I hope to see you again next time. So happy stitching, happy reading. I'll see you later. Thanks, everybody. Bye.